Hi everybody! I think there's a cat meowing behind me. Just hold on. Yes, he was. That was very cute. He's having a little sand bath behind me. And anyway, in this video this morning, I'm going to be showing you how you can regrow basil, a basil plant, and you can have basil almost forever. Because often what happens is you buy a basil plant and you use just a little bit of it, and after that it dies and you almost need to buy another plant or plant more seeds. So this is a really nice way of having basil grow and regrow from the same plant. So that's what we're going to be exploring today. Over here I've got a little basil plant that I got from the nursery a while ago, and it's so tiny and so little, and if I use even a few of these leaves, I won't really have a basil plant anymore. It'll probably die. So what's really nice about what I'm going to show you today is that you can reuse this plant and keep it for a long time if you do this little trick. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need a pair of scissors, and you're going to cut the stems off this from this whole basil plant. You're going to cut, I think there's 3 stems, 1, 2 and 3 stems, and you're going to cut as low down as you can for each of the stems. So I'll show you once I've done that. Okay, here are my 3 stems of basil which I've cut, and you can see I cut as low down as I could, so I tried to get a little bit of roots at the bottom there. Oh look, here comes the cat to say hi. Hello, are you drinking my basil water? So once I've cut my stems, sorry guys, I'm getting a little distracted here. Once I've cut my stems, I'm going to put them into a jar of water. Excuse me, Moby. That's for my basil. So I'm going to put my basil into a little jar of water which has been filled halfway up so that the stems all reach the water at the bottom. And then I'm going to put them on a windowsill inside the house. A windowsill hopefully that gets a little bit of sunshine. I'm going to put them inside the house for about 2 to 3 weeks, and I'll show you what happens after that. About 3 weeks ago I did the same thing that I've just done now. I took a basil plant and I cut off I think 5 or 6 stems, and it's been 3 weeks since then, and I'm going to show you what happened. It's actually quite amazing. So these are the plants, and they were also really little. This is how little the plants are when you first put them in the jar, and look how much they've grown in 2 or 3 weeks. So what's really interesting though is what's happened to their roots. Have a look over here. Look how big and hairy and awesome those roots are. And that's just happened from them drinking water. They haven't been in any soil of any kind, and they're looking really happy. So I'm very excited about that. Now what I'm going to do with these basil plants that have grown such beautiful and big roots is I'm actually going to replant these into little pots. So I've got some little pots ready which look like this. They've just got a little bit of soil. I'll show you a bit closer. They've just got a little bit of soil in them and nothing much else, and a little bit of water already, so that there will be some water there for the plants to drink straight away. And I'm going to replant these basil stems that have grown roots into my little pots, and then I'm going to have a whole bunch of basil plants, and hopefully I'll never run out. A little trick for when you're going to plant something into a pot is to line the bottom of your pot with some random things, like you can use shells, you can use little stones, you can use even snail shells. Just make sure that they're empty. And the reason for that is it's good to create a sort of drainage at the bottom of your pot so that all the water can drain out and your pot doesn't get too soggy if it's got too much water in it. Once your pot has some things in the bottom like this, you're going to fill it with soil just lightly. You never press soil down because plants need a lot of air in their roots, so it's good to just lightly put the soil in, and then it's ready for the plant to go in as well. One really good tip for when you're planting your little basil plant now is to get a stick or something like that. This is just from the garden, and to poke it down into your soil right in the middle, make a little hole like that, and then put your plant in that little hole, and that's so you don't squash too much of the soil and disturb the air around the roots, and that really helps the plant to grow and be happy. My little seedling is going into the hole now, and I'm just gently going to squash the soil around the seedling so that it covers the roots. And look how happy he looks in his little pot now. Here's my first happy little basil plant, and there's my other two. So I hope you have fun growing basil if you decide to give this a try, and just look how amazing it is for these little plants to grow so big and happy in just a few short weeks using water. Enjoy, and I hope you think of lots of things to eat with basil, because it's so delicious and so yummy.